And we are now joined by Jason Klein here, Aggie legend, joining the show. What's up, Jason? How are you, sir?
Hey, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. So I know you've had a little bit of a shift in your career. Talk to us about what you're working on now, because I know that you are now being able to help people beyond high school. You're helping kids all over the place develop.
Absolutely, man. It's it's a blessing actually to be put in this position. I switched from coaching, and now I'm the director of student outreach, where I get to help so many different students, not just the athletes, but all type of students throughout the district, really throughout Houston. I have different schools reaching out to me to see if I can go by and help their kids. And, it's a blessing for me to be able to help so many kids use my experience and the way from where I grew up to, accomplishing some of the things I have now, and just instilling that to these kids.
How much do you enjoy that part of the gig? That, football is one thing, right? Teaching them how to run the right route, or the lessons that sports can teach, but also helping them become better men and women, husband, wives, fathers later on in life.
I tell you what, it's the exact same thing that I did while I was a coach. It's just I'm not coaching football. It's the exact same thing. When I was at Klein Oak, we wanted to build a program, and it wasn't a model, but it was a culture to where we wanted to help raise great young men and great young ladies as an athletic department. And they're still doing a great job now. I go by there and I see Coach Carpenter, who's now the head coach. He's carrying on that great legacy of what we're doing with our athletes. And it plays a huge part, because one day you will not be an athlete. And when you're not, what are you? So those are the things we always tell our kids.
Jason, I know my buddy Joe Gleason used to follow you around. ABC 13 sports producer, was my producer for many years. Last year, he caught a moment that went super viral. Just take us back to your message to your players, where you talked about race, you talked about life, and how that kind of how that really just galvanized with the community.
I tell you what, actually, that whole ordeal was kind of an accident how it happened. Joe was out there just to record our strength and conditioning deal because of COVID and the safety protocols. He called me, said, "Hey, Coach, I want to see what you guys are doing." I'm like, "Absolutely, Joe. You're my buddy, man. Come on out." And before we started, I guess they were just filming and practicing, and I'll just say, "Hey, I want to get this off my chest before we do anything." And I just went to, I just looked at my kids' faces as the parents were dropping them off, and it was something that I've been holding in for a while, because we didn't get to see our kids for so long because of COVID. But right when I saw them, I wanted to make sure this was the, let's talk about this. Let's put time into this instead of running and lifting and we have time for that. But this right here is something that I believe our community, our state, our country, I think it was something that I didn't think it was that big of a deal, because I always talk to my kids like this. That wasn't different for me. I guess that's why it was so natural and genuine, because I always talk to them like that. But for it to go viral, man, I mean, I really wasn't expecting anything from it. Just my community, they embraced it. We did different events and did different things, man, to really, really translate that into something that's bigger than me, than anybody else.
Let's kind of put ourselves in that moment, too. Beyond COVID, the country was in such a weird spot 13 months ago. Have you seen movement in the last 13 months? Do you feel like things have gotten better? Do you see it?
Absolutely. I use the analogy, talking to my wife. We talk about all different things, and one thing that I have noticed is that the elephant that's in the room. People used to look at it and just walk past it. Now people see the elephant in the room and they bumping each other. "Hey, see that elephant?" They whispering, but they noticing it and letting other people notice it. Whether it's race, whether it's politics, whatever it is. Like, we are starting to have conversations about some of the things that we need to conversate about. And it's not just a one-way conversation. It's not whites having conversation with blacks. It's everybody. Start having conversations. So once I can understand where you're coming from, whether I agree or not, if I can understand where you're coming from and have that conversation, I can now become somebody that you can say, "Hey, you don't agree with me, but I still respect you." I think that's where we need to get to.
Talked about your time here in College Station, and I heard a story about you. Dalton shared to me that maybe a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, you're like, you had an interview with us and you just showed up. Like, you were like, let's go. I'm close by. I'm going to come. I know that you love this community, right?
Absolutely. I love College Station. That was one of the biggest reasons why I was there, man. It felt like home. And I know we supposed to do the interview over the phone. I'm like, man, I'm going to drive out here, man. I'm just going to pop up to this thing, man. Let's do this thing. It was good for me and my wife. She came with me. We just we rode around the town while we was there, man. And you guys are like my brothers. You guys are like brothers, man. And if we're going to do this, man, let's do this thing. And it was good to hang out afterwards. So it was awesome. It was awesome.
So I'm thinking, now that you're not coaching, you might have a little bit more free time on Friday nights, Saturday mornings. So is there a good chance we're going to see you here at Kyle Field often and maybe joining the TexAgs post-show or post-game show, whatever, I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but the show we're going to do after the game?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And the great part about it is my superintendent, she's an Aggie. We went to school around the same year. And I told her, hey, man, and I have some of my school board members, man, they are Aggies. I'm like, hey, we're going to hit this thing hard. We're going to get on the sideline and we're going to enjoy ourselves. And, that's one thing I have missed is going to the games as much. I usually catch one game a year. But now that I have time, man, I'm going to really get entrenched into what's going on over there.
Yeah, we feel that, and I think you feel it too, that this could be a special year. I don't know if that means national championship or if it means similar to what that we saw last year. Your thoughts heading into SEC Media Days a week away, and that means the real start of football season. What kind of year do you expect the Aggies to have?
I really believe that they are going to have a great year, and I say that because not because of, I guess, what people call it hype. It's not that, because a couple of weeks ago, I had an opportunity to go to Vail, Colorado, where we have our 12th Man Foundation. And I met some of the players that are playing now. And their mindset is so is so mature, and they taking this thing so serious. This isn't just for, it's not recess. This is like, hey, man, we have a chance to really kick some butt this year and do some special things, man. And with Chase Lane and those guys, and Green and all that. I mean, those guys are hooked up and ready to go. And then when you have leaders like that, ready to go, I believe this is going to be a year, man, that they can do something very, very special. Maybe something A&M hasn't done, man, since the 1930s. So
that's what we're hoping, man. And I think one of the big things, Jason, that I keep telling people is, look, of course, we all want a national championship. What I like is that A&M is again in the conversation, in the national championship conversation for, I believe, many years to come.
Absolutely. Coach Fisher and his staff, they have done an excellent job recruiting, but not just recruiting athletes that fit the culture. That's the most important thing. Getting athletes that fit the culture of what you want to get done. And he's doing it with different type of kids, and they have different type of character. Like Leon is the mouth of the South.
Yep.
But you need that guy. You need that type of guy on your team. And you have, different guys that play different roles, but they fit the overall culture of what Coach Fisher is trying to do.
I got to ask you, obviously we heard the news about RC, and our thoughts and prayers are obviously with him. What does he mean to you? And what does he mean to that whole group of Aggies that played for him?
I mean, he was a dad for us, and people understand that, man. And we me and my brother birthday was just this past weekend, and we went to go celebrate before he leaves to go to Detroit. And we was just talking about Coach Slocum, and we also did our impersonation. Okay, guys, you got to go down there now. You got to knock somebody's head off, and you got to, But for us to be 40, 45, and 50 years old, still talking about Coach Slocum and the things he done for us. Not just as a coach, and that's the thing people don't, they don't see. The father figure, when guys needed a father figure, when they needed somebody to talk to, when they needed that special man to help them grow into that man, he was there, man, and he's still there. We had a conversation. I'm picking up my son from school, and me and Coach Slocum had a conversation for 2 hours, and not one thing, none of it was about football. It was all life. It was about 3 weeks ago. At the end of the school year, I'm picking up my son, and we had a conversation for 2 hours. 2 hours. It had nothing to do with football. I mean, that's him. That is RC Slocum.
Jason, how many brothers do you have?
I have 4 brothers and I have 6 sisters.
Okay. So I shouldn't be doing this on the radio. I should have sent you a message on this, but I want to. Did you have a brother that had a barbershop?
Yes.
He cut my hair. Okay, I knew it. All right. I just had to make sure. Off of Highway 6 in Houston, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right. Absolutely.
Ball fades, baby.
Yeah, man, to be honest with you, he was the best athlete out of all of us.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, man, he had Notre Dame, Michigan, and all those guys. He just didn't want to go to college. So he went to go serve our country. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he was the best athlete out of all the brothers, man. And he's an amazing guy.
Yeah, man, that's phenomenal stuff. I don't know why it hit me during the middle of the interview. I was like, hold on, I think Jason Aaron got a brother that cut my hair back in the day in A-Leaf.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That is it, brother.
Hey, man, I look forward to seeing you here on Saturdays and being a part of our coverage moving forward. And I'm blessed to know you. And I think your message, the reason I caught fire is because it A, the timing, and B, it came from the heart, man. So keep doing what you're doing, Jason.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you guys, and congratulations to you guys. Hey, man, you're going to represent us the right way, and I'm so happy for you in this position, brother. It means a lot for us to have you doing this for all Ags, all of us.
I appreciate you, Jason, man. I can't wait to talk to you in person soon, my friend.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, man. Jason Glenn, great stuff there. I really appreciate that conversation.